Sir, we've reached the rendezvous coordinates. No contacts. Looks like the Mobius ship hasn't arrived yet.
That's strange. It ain't like them to be late.
Sir, Dominion ships warping in. Mengsk's flagship is leading them.
Sweet mother of mercy.
Sir, their shields are still down. I don't like this.
Matt, pull us alongside and prep docking tubes.
Commander, this is not a smart move.
You wanted your revolution, kid. Now you got it.
Turn around, Arcturus. I want you to see this coming.
You won't find my father here, Commander. I am Valerian Mengsk, and I own the Mobius Foundation. Through them, I own you as well.
Tell me why I shouldn't kill you right now.
Because I can offer you what you've always wanted. A chance to rescue Sarah Kerrigan. The artifact fragments you've been collecting are of Xel'Naga origin. With them, I can construct a device that will reverse the infestation that transformed Kerrigan into the Queen of Blades. You're the only man who's been close to her and lived to tell the tale. You know her tactics, you know her strategies. And I know you'd risk anything for the chance to bring her back.
Sir, tell me you're not seriously considering this deal with Valerian.
Sounds like a golden deal to me, Jimmy. Kerrigan turns human, takes a bullet between the eyes. You can put your past to rest and still make one hell of a payday.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Tygus.
Assaulting Char is a suicide mission. You'd be putting all our lives on the line just to get your girlfriend back.
This is bigger than all of us, Matt. It ain't about me. This is the only real chance we're ever gonna get, and I'm taking it.
So which is it gonna be, Jimmy? We bringing Kerrigan back, or putting her in the ground?
That's for me to decide. You both got a lot of prep work to do. Get to it.
Look out. Big Haps. StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. Episode 18, Maw of the Void. Getting underway. Some serious plot development here, Dev. Let's check the news.
This is Kate Lockwell for UNN. Tonight, top Dominion military analysts are still confused and relieved to report that while attacks do continue throughout the Fringe, the main Zerg push into Dominion space seems to have slowed.
That's wonderful news, Kate. Our boys have really taken the fight to the Zerg.
Of course, Donnie. But there's also a sense that whatever the Zerg were after, they either got it or they've given up on it. We may never know.
You heard it here first.
So these artifacts are the key to freeing Kerrigan. Pretty amazing coincidence, Tygus just showing up out of the blue. offering us the job to collect these damn things.
Statistically, sir, the probability of coincidence is minuscule. However, these artifacts do represent a power beyond our current scientific understanding. If anything could give the Queen of Blades pause, perhaps these are it?
All this ancient alien hocus pocus is a little out of my pay scale. I just pray that when the time comes, these things bring her back to me.
Okay, I think anyone who ever played the original StarCraft has been waiting for this moment, right? A chance to bring Kerrigan back to human form. So this is very exciting. Plus Valerian betraying his father and all the rest. I mean, this is juicy. Real quick before getting on with the mission, though, we unlocked the top-tier Protoss research project. So we can get a tech reactor or orbital strike. Now, orbital strike's really good. Barracks units are just drop-potted to wherever the rally point for the barracks is. They don't have to actually come out and run there and get killed along the way. However, we go with tech reactor instead, and that combines a tech lab and a reactor. So you can have every unit available and you can build 2 at a time in any building that creates units.
So, what's the problem, Swan?
What's the problem? You only signed us up with our mortal enemies. Every one of these boys lost family or friends to Mengsk. We're gonna be sitting on a powder keg pretty soon. Can't you see that?
It ain't up for discussion, Swan. I gotta do this.
Okay, so like everything else that happens in this game plot-wise, everyone on ship is just a big drama queen about it. This is kind of understandable, but at any rate, Raynor's going to, lead us through. Now, as for armory upgrades, I still really want the siege tank to get upgraded because we use the siege breakers a lot, but since I have just enough, I go ahead and purchase the Nyx class cloaking module for my Spectres, and now they can just remain perma-cloaked. It doesn't drain their energy.
Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the Bucephalus. Prince Valerian's holding on the communicator for you.
Ah, Commander Raynor. I thought we might discuss the expedition to Char. Now...
This is a dangerous game you're playing, kid. What's your stake in all this?
Jim, I really think we should... I can see why my father wants to kill you.
I asked you a question.
Everyone wonders if I will be as good an emperor as my father. But I want something more. To prove that I will be a better emperor and a better man.
That shouldn't be hard.
If I reform the worst mass murderer in history, make her human again, teamed with the famous outlaw Jim Raynor, that's all the proof I'll need.
So I'm just a cog in your machine.
If it gets you what you want, do you care?
Guess I don't.
You sure about this? You gotta know Mengsk is gunning for you. He'll hit you in a way you'll never see coming.
I can handle Mengsk, Tychus.
Just watch your back, old buddy. That's all I'm asking.
I said I can handle it. If you don't want to be a part of this, you can take your 30% and go.
Sir, I have to question your objectivity on this alliance. It's obviously a trap.
I got it covered, Matt. I'm asking you to trust me.
We were starting to make real progress against Mengsk. If we go after the Queen of Blades, we're throwing that away.
This is bigger than Mengsk. Matt, if we succeed on Char, we'll save billions of lives. Billions. Mengsk can wait.
I didn't sign up for this.
You signed up to follow my orders. If you can't do that anymore, then get the hell off my ship!
Sir.
Easy, guys. Come on now. We gotta keep it together here. No need to fall apart from the inside.
Commander, our mutual friends at the Mobius Foundation have located the last artifact fragment. When this final piece is secured, we can proceed to Char and confront Kerrigan. Good luck, Mr. Raynor. I fear you'll need it. My Mobius associates have finally tracked down the last piece of the artifact. It's on a derelict Xel'Naga ship located within the Sigma Quadrant.
Pretty far off the beaten path, Junior.
The artifact is here. The ship has several rip field generators which disintegrate everything at a molecular level in a matter of moments. Fortunately, our new Minotaur-class battlecruisers should be able to survive the fields long enough to destroy the generators.
Anything else we should know?
Well, long-range scans have identified a sizable Tal'Darim force holding in the area.
We are in way over our heads on this one, Jimmy. Walking into rip fields. I didn't sign up for no suicide mission. We should just take the money and run.
Getting cold feet, Tigus?
I lost 9 years in prison on account of you. Ain't tossing what's left of my life away just so you can rescue your little princess. Remember, you own me, partner.
Not enough to quit on something like this. You're relieved. You can sit this one out, partner.
Fine, then. You know where I'll be.
Adjutant, prep the ship for jump. Let's get this over with.
Caution. Anomalous gravity distortion detected.
There's the first rip field Valerian talked about.
The battle cruisers should be able to survive long enough to destroy the generator, but only if they concentrate their fire.
Got it.
Roger.
What do you think, sir? Quick smash and grab?
We're gonna need more than a couple of battle cruisers to blast our way through.
Take your time, Commander. I'd rather do this right and get the artifact.
What's going on? Bad news?
We'll be lucky to find any normal resources here. But centuries of asteroid impacts have scattered mineral fragments and crystallized Vespene all over the wreck.
All right, we'll scout around and see what we can pick up.
You hail?
Okay, Maw of the Void. This is a hard mission. It's a cool map because it's just like a big asteroid floating out in space. And it's very hard because, as you saw when we pulled in and destroyed that first rip field generator, your units all take damage whenever you're in one of those rip fields. And if it's a smaller unit, like say a Marine, you're just going to get slaughtered. So you need big, tough, hardy units, and you need lots of upgrades in order to be able to survive. So the best for this mission is, you know, the battle cruiser, and that's why they give it to you for this mission, right? It's just the top tier flagship starship in the Terran fleet. If you do want to use like some ground units or siege tanks or stuff like that, one problem is there's a gap between this little starting area and then the rest of the map, so you're gonna have to build transports and then drop them over there. And this kind of leads into my next point about this mission, which makes it really hard, is that the resources are very, very limited, and building battle cruisers costs a lot of resources, right? So anytime you lose a unit or have to build a transport and then you use it and then you're done using it, right, it's just kind of a waste. So after several trials and errors, I ended up just being really economical about my building. Now you can see up here I'm putting 2 armories, and that's so I can get my upgrades researched 2 at a time, like the attack and the defense, both getting researched simultaneously.
We hear you.
And then ultimately, I'm going to just lift up the buildings that will lift up and then move them over to the next part of the map.
Receiving headquarters.
Everything else gets left and abandoned. And I tried, you know, in the next area over, there's a, you know, you build a second base, and I tried just rebuilding buildings, but honestly, those resources you use to rebuild buildings just can impact whether you win or lose this mission. It's just insane. So you have to go pretty slowly, and that leads me to my next point, which is an apology. This is the longest mission of my whole playthrough. It's over an hour, I think. And it's not like Devil's Playground, where I just sort of didn't play it that well, and then you had to just watch me mine minerals. But rather, it's you have to cut through like 6 or 8 of those Ripfield generators or something, and each time you go into one, it just starts to shred your army. So you can't just, you know, build up an army and then go around the map, kill all the generators, and win. You have to do one and then back off, hope you don't lose units. You got to heal them up, repair them. You're seeing I'm building up science vessels because they can repair with their energy and not use resources to repair, like SCVs would use minerals and gas to repair your units. So every little thing has been like thought about and just like squeezed as much juice as I can out of this, you know, because it all counts. And I ended up wiping a lot on this mission, and sometimes I'd be like 45 minutes in, and then I would find out I lost. So it was pretty rough to lose a lot of time in progress. So the result is a slower, longer mission, but ultimately a successful one. So hope you enjoy it.
Mineral field depleted. Base is under attack.
Transmit orders. We have you on visual.
Upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted.
Okay, speaking of, you know, limited resources, this little starter area is going to get tapped pretty quickly, and then we're going to move. In addition to that, there are scattered resource piles about. You saw right at the start, once I cleared a few enemies out, I had an SCV run around and grab them. All of those count. I mean, it's really like down to the wire on the bottom line with these resources. If you lose one too many units, or if a building gets destroyed and you have to remake it, stuff like that, it really hurts.
Mineral field depleted.
As for the 2 armories, that was again something I kind of figured out after lots of trial and error. The enemy Protoss are going to keep attacking this base. So once we leave it, I don't really want to have to come back and defend it. So I'm just trying to rush all the upgrades as quickly as possible and get them done. So then, you know, if your armory gets killed and destroyed, but you've already researched the upgrades, you still get the upgrades.
We are running low on minerals at this location. Additional mineral supplies have been located nearby.
Greetings, Command.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Excellent.
Okay, you see that green cloud that I was attacking the Protoss Zealots with? That's irradiate. That's actually the kind of offensive ability that the science vessels have. Otherwise, they don't attack. They just sit there and heal, right? So you don't see me use it too much, but it is in the mix, and times like that, I will use it. Now, it doesn't work on mechanical units, only biologic units, but there it kind of worked pretty well, and it's a way that they can chip in and give you some offense.
Can do.
Okay, and that's a good indication of just how insane these rip fields are and how much damage your units take when they're in it. You can see it's kind of the green glowy area, and on the mini-map they're marked with those kind of grayish circles. That's the area effect. So it sucks that I lost a Banshee there. I end up making them not too much, but A, they're cheap, and B, they can stealth and attack ground units. So they do end up, helping out a bit. But it's a good illustration of how tough this mission is when you have to get into the rip fields.
All right, boys, hit him with the Yamato. A couple shots from that
planet. Greetings, Command. Affirmative, sir.
Abandon ship.
Commencing.
I got this.
And that's another thing that's hard about this mission, and it's uncanny. I think it's just like really brilliant AI design or just coding or something for the enemy's behavior, but it seems like every single time that you're ready to like strike out and make your move, the enemy is like right there ahead of you and sending in, units that you're going to have to stop your attack and deal with.
Greetings, Command. Commencing.
Antaro Tassadar, friend Reno. The Tal'Darim have imprisoned all who oppose them. Release us, and we will gladly fight at your side against them.
Base is under attack.
Receiving headquarters. We have you on visual. Affirmative, sir. Commencing.
Upgrade complete.
Transmit
Okay, you can
orders.
see how much damage just a couple of their units that get through can do, and unfortunately they were able to destroy one of my armories. The good news is I only have one more upgrade left to research. Now, I couldn't queue it up because I'm out of resources. I don't have enough Vespene gas. See, I'm only at like 10 or something. But, I had to pull back and protect that building. Otherwise, I'd have to rebuild it, and that would be, wasting too many materials. Now, look here. What's happening? 2 more transports are coming down, and I'm going to have to, pull off and go fight them, or, I'm going to risk losing that armory. Here they are.
Mayday! Mayday!
Affirmative, sir.
So super close call. And again, I really wish I could hit the button and start the upgrade, but you know, I can't until I get more resources.
We have you on visual.
And you saw I was about to drop my command center down before that wave came, but I didn't want to drop my command center down and then pull all my forces back to protect my armory, because then my command center would be sitting there on the ground unprotected, right? So it's just really, really tough to get the timing of this mission down. And like I said, it's just, there's something uncanny about the programming of the enemy's behavior. They just really, really are always there when it's, you know, least convenient. And I don't know how they got that to happen, but that's what ends up happening on this mission.
Yes, Commander.
And it's just, it's a real headache. Once you can get set up and get going from this point on, and you don't need to worry about rescuing any of the buildings from the starting area, then it's a lot less of a headache. But for now, it's pretty tough going.
What is it?
Transmit orders. Affirmative. Receiving headquarters. We have you on visual.
Yes, Commander.
Let's roll. Greetings, Commander. Excellent. Commencing. Affirmative. Transmit orders.
Okay, there, finally. I've got the last upgrade researching, and you can see that the armory's pretty beat up, so I really got to hope that I can get it done
Big job, huh?
before that armory gets killed, because they will continue to send units over to that starting area until it's completely obliterated. So another little tough wrinkle to this mission. Now I went ahead and I'm building another Merc compound, because I'm going to use
What's going on?
you know, my Hell's Angels, the mercenary Viking fighter jets, and they're real handy, as they always are, right? Because you can, I don't know if you can quite see it here, but up on the mountains behind where this base is, there are some scattered resources like gas and minerals. But because they're up on mountains, you need something, you know, to be able to go up there and get them. And that would have to be, you know, a Viking. So they're going to kind of be my ninjas again that fly and walk and gather stuff for me. Now, as for the bonus objective for the research, there are those 4 sort of like little prisons that are holding Protoss of all things. They're actually Dark Templars. And speaking of ninjas, they're also very helpful, because if you break open their prisons, they'll fight for you. They become your units. And because they're Dark Templars, they're perma-stealth, right? So you can use them to sneak around the map a little bit, at least, and get some work done. So we're going to be getting to them shortly, but for now, again, we're just still having to do this back and forth dance to protect the armory until we get our final upgrade researched.
Transmit orders.
Base is under attack. Upgrade complete.
And wow, did you hear that? Base is under attack, upgrade complete. So, first of all, I was so pissed that some of those zealots got away or some other dropship snuck in there and I didn't know about it because I had just pulled all my forces back to here. But then, as soon as it said, you know, base is under attack, the upgrade was complete, so I no longer need the armory because the upgrades are done. So that was very
Additional supply depots required.
very lucky, very close timing.
Base is under attack.
The only other thing, and again, this is just sort of bottom line type of analysis. We're going to lose the supply depots that were over there. And, you know, if you wanted, you could try to defend them, but you're going to spend money defending them, or resources defending them, by putting, say, I don't know, bunkers and missile turrets and stuff, just to hold supply depots. So you might as well just, you know, let them go and then build new supply depots over here once you're moved over here. So it's kind of a tough judgment call. It's purely, you know, fiscal and economical, what, you know, cost the least in the long run, and I think doing it this way is the best way to go.
Not enough minerals. Base is under attack.
So you're seeing my factory still just hovering, you know, in the air there. You're like, well, why don't you land it? I need the factory
Mineral field depleted.
because it's a prerequisite for certain other buildings or units, like I think the battle cruiser, among other things. But I don't land it because, as you can see, it's really tight here. Now, once I eventually destroy the next rip field, you can see it kind of, we're on the edge of it right now. Then there'll be more space to the left, which is safe. At least it's not going to be in a rip field and you're not going to take damage. But for now, at least, and for as long as we're kind of going to be here gathering, it's just really, really tight, you know. So my barracks and my factory are just sitting up there in the air, hanging out, like, you know, I don't really need them. I mean, I need them to be in existence because they're prerequisites for other buildings and other types of units, but I don't need them to be on the ground and actually manufacturing units. So that's why they're just hanging out, floating over there.
All right. Very well.
So as promised, some nice ninja gathering out of our trusty Hells Angels mercenaries. And next I'm going to grab my Banshees and come over and destroy this prison that's holding the first Protoss group for the bonus objectives. And a fun fact, I don't know if you noticed this already, the unit portrait in the lower right of the Banshee, it's a female pilot. When they engage their cloaking device, the visors come down and cover the eyes.
Our thanks, James Raynor. The Tal'Darim will pay for their treachery.
What is it? Who called in the fleet?
We seek our service.
So these guys are great. You can see they just start running all over the place. They're stealth. Nobody can see them. And they're just, you know, whipping ass on these Protoss. You know, it's Protoss on Protoss violence, but the Tal'Darim, as we've seen in several missions now, are kind of a, you know, a renegade sect that are like ultra fundamentalist and ultra intolerant. You know, they hate everybody, and they're super religious, and they're like the, you know, the evangelical, you know, Protoss here. The other thing is, you notice, why aren't they dying? They're in the rip field here. The Protoss are immune to the damage caused by the rip field. That's actually not 100% accurate. When they have their shields up, they are immune to the damage caused by the rip field. Okay, so all Protoss, including their buildings, like we saw on the prophecy line, have a shield. And so as long as that's up, then they don't take any damage from the rip field. If they lose that shield, then the rip field will start to tear into them.
I will comply. I am but a phantom. By the void. Khartoum. Clever. I will comply.
We have you on visual.
Right.
Affirmative, sir. Excellent.
Okay, so the force is starting to get nicely sized here, and you can see just how much damage a couple of those Dark Templars can do. So they're very useful.
We will join the hunt for the Tal'Darim.
Now, I don't know, because I actually haven't gone out and looked at any videos of this mission, which is probably bad. I should have maybe checked before I filmed it. Most of the missions, I wouldn't say most. I'd say half. If they were really tough or I was getting stuck on them, I tended to go look at, you know, videos on YouTube of pros or other people that are just really good at the game playing it, and then I could get help figuring out how to beat missions that way. But I didn't do that for this one, and I suspect that the Dark Templars are probably the key to getting this done quickly, if you can get it done quickly. There may be a way using, I don't know, transports and other things to get them all around the map and just use them to sneak and destroy, you know, the rip field generators or something like this. So that's just a guess. Again, I haven't looked and verified it, but if I had to bet money on how to do this mission quickly, my guess is you use the Dark Templars to sneak around and destroy the key targets.
Excellent.
Yeah? Roger that.
Yes, Commander. Okay.
Transmit.
Patching.
Vault. We are very close to the artifact.
Make peace with your
Protoss mothership is formidable, sir. Scans indicate it's capable of cloaking nearby friends and phasing enemies out of existence for a short time.
Transmit orders.
Okay, a couple things. A nice quick hit
enough minerals.
on that, I guess technically third rip field generator. But you see how I quickly had to back off because we're kind of in this overlapping area of like 2 or 3 of them. And then next you're seeing like fully upgraded units. Because we're so deep in the game, we're actually getting, I think, 2 or 3, I think two levels of research for, you know, attack and defense. So you're seeing how quickly we can just like kill enemies. Look how fast these targets go down.
Receiving headquarters. Let's roll. Transmit orders.
I mean, those are carriers. Those are, I mean, I think that was 2 or 3 carriers and a void ray right there, but those are just the top of the line, you know, for, you remember from the last prophecy mission when we were building those. And we're just shredding through them. So that's very cool. And then the other thing I wanted to note, obviously, is the mothership, right? You remember that from the last prophecy mission as well. That thing is badass. It cloaks everything around it, so we may see it sort of just cruising around and not realize that there's actually like 8, you know, carriers with it. And it can also kind of vortex and make us disappear for a little bit. Like it's a little area effect spell that causes our units to just disappear.
What is it?
Now they come back, but a lot of times you start running away, and then when they come back because you've run away, you know, you're nowhere near to protect them. And I think they're taking damage from the rip field the whole time. So that mothership is nasty. When I played this mission the first time on hard, I eventually killed it. But on brutal, no way. I'm just going to avoid it like the Dickens. And, you know, just try to work around it and get done what I need to get done without having to deal with that.
Patching you through. Yes, sir.
Transmit order.
You hailed?
Engine screaming.
En route.
My blades thirst for vengeance.
Squadron en route.
We have you on visual.
Mayday! Mayday!
Receiving headquarters.
I got this.
Abandon ship.
Battle is upon us.
Commencing. Excellent. Receiving headquarters.
Who called in the fleet?
We have you on visual.
You hailed?
Greetings, Commander. Affirmative, sir. Let's roll. Transmit orders. orders. Let's roll. Commencing. Bad news? Go ahead.
So you get the idea. I am pressing in and out, kind of just doing little bits at a time. For the most part, I'm just building my army and doing small little, injections here and there. Eventually, all the resources will run out, and then I'll just have to press with what I got, kind of thing. So I'm not aiming to do a whole lot of, deep progress. I'm more just sustaining my position. The science vessels are great, obviously, because they repair mech units and don't cost resources for the repair. But the other thing you got to remember is they fuel those healing kind of spells, if you will, with their energy. Each science vessel has a certain amount of energy, and that replenishes over time. But once they run out of energy, they can't heal you anymore, right? So it's kind of like a spellcaster in a mana pool. So you can't just stay in the rip field and keep at it. Gotta pull out, and then regroup, and then give your science vessels time to replenish their energy supply, and then do some more from there.
Yes, Commander. Okay.
Engine screaming. Crazy. All back. I got this.
Touching you.
Transmit orders.
Okay, nicely done. A lot of resistance, but we were able to get the rip field generator down before we pulled out, and now you can see with that down, we can stage a little bit further in, right? So, I mean, you get the idea. It's pretty obvious. But like I said in the beginning, it's what takes so long. It's small baby steps in.
Transformation systems
And
prime.
getting that rip field generator down, and then you can start to stage your army a little bit deeper in until you get the next one, etc., etc. So again, sorry if it's kind of slow progress. I'm guessing pros could probably rip through this mission much faster, and they know how to do it and stuff like that. But you're probably used to it by now. This is just bee burners, slow, thorough style.
Very well.
But yeah, it's working, so that's what matters, right? Now, real quick, at the bottom center of the interface, it says Hell's Angel, kills, rank, etc. Just below rank, there are two square icons with the number 3 in the lower right. Those represent the attack and defense upgrades that we researched at the armory. And the little number 3 tells us that at this point in the game, there are 3 levels of research for each of those categories. So that's another reason that I wanted to build 2 armories in the beginning. One to research attack, the other to research defense at the same time, because we had to get through 3 full research projects for each before the Protoss destroyed those buildings.
Truly you bring freedom to all, friend Reyna.
Big job, huh?
Abandon ship.
Sure thing.
Transmit orders. Greetings, Command. Let's receiving headquarters.
Mineral field depleted.
I got my ears on. Engaging. Inbound. Weapons hot. Right.
Greetings, Command.
Let's get into the fight. Bold. Yes, indeed. Victory.
Transmit orders.
You ready for war?
Greetings, Command.
Who called in the fleet?
Let's roll.
Call the ball. Engaging. Turbines to full.
Greetings,
Okay,
Command.
there's the mothership, so you can see I'm definitely backing out. And as I start to see it here and there, it will sort of move to engage you. It's very, very slow. That's one thing that makes it fairly easy to avoid.
We have you on
But
visual.
it kind of just does this, orbiting pattern. And if you see it, it's best just to go to like the opposite part of where its orbit would be. And I think at one point coming up here we do get in a tangle with it, but for the most part we're just figuring out where it's at and then going to the other parts and doing what we can.
Let's roll.
Let's get into the fight. Yes, indeed. Bold.
Greetings, Command. Affirmative, sir.
And remember, it may have a bunch of ships right, inside its cloak, and we don't see them.
Mineral field depleted.
So we have to be very, very careful with that mothership. You could go to engage it or just think, oh, nothing's nearby, and then bam, it has 4 void rays and 3 cruisers just sitting there, and we didn't see them.
Transmit orders. Receiving headquarters. Explorer reporting.
Greetings, Command.
I'm in a pickle!
Engaging.
Commencing. We have you on visual. Transmit orders.
Can't hold them alone.
Receiving headquarters. Transmit orders.
Loud and clear. Done and done.
You hailed?
Receiving headquarters. We have you on visual. Let's roll. Affirmative, sir. Excellent.
Okay, that was pretty sneaky. And my cruisers were so slow that the Banshees actually ended up taking out the
We have
generator.
you on visual.
And that's going to leave just two more, okay? The one in the kind of top there, and then the one in the center, which is actually the main vault, which is holding the final piece of the artifact. And by the way, I think in the last episode I said this is the last piece of the artifact. It's not the last artifact quest, but it's the last piece. Well, I was wrong. I forgot that there's an actual piece to the artifact that is acquired through this quest, but no big deal. But yeah, this is the final mission of the artifact line, which is basically considered Tychus's line. And that's just so annoying that I lost 2 science vessels to those stupid carriers. Just really frustrating. I mean, that's wasted resources. They can't be replaced at this point until I get some more gas. Super, super frustrating. No, there comes the mothership. Get out of there, Nevatron. Bam. You see that? Sucked up a big chunk of my units. It's just sort of in that vortex there. And then they're going to come back in, and the mothership's going to be like right on top of them. And, oh, this is just a nightmare.
Greetings, Command. Transmit orders.
Transformation systems primed. Ha-ha! Yes, indeed.
So I'm taking a faithful Hell's Angel over here to try to ninja this gas. I think if I can get 300 out of it, I can make a few more units. And bam, carrier on me. And lost the Hell's Angel. So I hope it's worth it, because I lost the Hell's Angel getting it. They're not that great in this mission. I mean, they are for doing little ninja stuff like this, but because they're air-to-air when they're in jet form, and a lot of what we have to do in this mission is air-to-ground attacking, the Hell's Angels aren't super great. Now, if you wanted to build up just a shit ton of Vikings and mix in some Hell's Angels and go after that mothership, that would be the way to go. That's the way you beat the mothership. They're just going to actually be faster and more powerful at taking down the mothership than the battle cruisers are. Again, the reason we had to go with battle cruisers is because they're just tougher and more hardy, and you need units that can survive this nasty rip field bullshit in order to win this mission. Oh man, so a moment of silence for our brave Banshee kamikaze strike force there. Went in and got the job done, but didn't make it back out. They destroyed that final rip field generator. Now there still is another rip field here. Again, it's around the actual vault that's holding the artifact piece. But it still acts like, you know, a rip field. It's nasty. So all that remains is to get in there and punch our way through it. And hopefully we can do that without suffering any more casualties. And most important, without bumping heads with that nasty mothership.
Greetings, Command. Affirmative, sir. Excellent.
Yes, Commander.
Affirmative, sir. Greetings, Command. Commencing. Excellent. Let's roll. Affirmative, sir. Affirmative, sir. Commencing. Greetings, Command. Let's roll. Commencing.
And this is unbelievable. That slow-ass mothership is actually like chasing us. Look at this. We were almost there too. It wasn't so much that I was purposefully trying to wipe out all the buildings and, you know, clear out the Protoss or anything. It's just I knew that, you know, as you start to inch in and kind of knock on the door, a bunch of things will come from other parts of the map that you can't really see, or it's just off the screen, and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of shit on you, you know. So it's just kind of inching forward and seeing what came, you know, and just kind of frustrating. We were almost there, and then the mothership showed up, you know. So no harm, no foul. We're still getting through it, and now that we've kind of drew the mothership out, we're gonna just sneak right by it and go straight for the kill, Deb.
All right, we're clear. Grab that thing and set a course to rendezvous with Valerian.
Okay, so a pretty grueling, drawn-out mission, and again, apologies for the long duration, but a good victory nonetheless. Hope you're enjoying Wings of Liberty, and we'll see you in the next episode.